What's that? Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mic check 1, 2, 3. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I mean, I can put that together and either we can have somebody go shoot this, or I can hold this for Monday.
Well, in the meetings, I didn't think.
Say that one more time.
Just because if it's not solid, it's just not gonna happen, but when there's something earlier in
I
there.
can't see anything. The screen's not on.
What I was thinking about.
Gotcha.
Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the what block? Bravo, okay.
Yeah.
The 4 o'clock news starts right now.
Heat advisories and/or warnings in effect for over half the country, including the Carolinas. How will it affect your weekend? We'll talk about when relief arrives coming up.
And all new this afternoon, despite protests from students and staff, the University of South Carolina's Board of Trustees voted to hire Robert Callison to be the next school's president. And we have new information on a stabbing investigation out of the city of Woodruff. Police now say the suspect and the victim are related. Good afternoon, I'm Cody Alcorn. Thanks for joining us here on the 4 o'clock news. And all new at 4, the DA in North Carolina will not file charges after a man was shot and killed earlier this month. James Stepp was killed after a fight at a business there in Hendersonville. The DA announced this morning he will not send the case to a grand jury. Fox Carolina's Carrie Weimer live in our newsroom. So, Carrie, why did this gunman not be charged or have an indictment in this?
Well, the district attorney told us earlier that he has enough evidence from police to say the shooter acted in self-defense. This was really difficult for James Stepp's family to hear. We told you about James Stepp, though many knew him as Pup. Police say he was shot and killed at a business on Brooklyn Avenue back on July 3rd, following an argument with the owner. The district attorney told us today Pup was, quote, the aggressor and came after the business owner after his son was fired. The district attorney says under North Carolina law, a person has the right to defend themselves against aggressive behavior if they feel their life is in danger or that they are in danger of great bodily injury.
Tragic as it certainly is a justified shooting.
He murdered my brother, and we are seeking justice. We will not stop until we get it.
Pup's family claims he was only defending his son. They say they are worried this gives the wrong message to the community. An attorney for James Stepp's family says they plan to reach out to the SBI to investigate further. You'll hear more from the family coming up at 5.
So, Carrie, we understand the shooting was actually caught on camera. What do we know about this, and is that going to be released?
Well, the district attorney says the video will not be released without a court order. The family tells us they have not seen it yet, but they would like a chance to see it. Live in the newsroom, Carrie Weimer, the 4 o'clock news.
Carrie, thanks. All new at 4, a former Pickens County Detention Center officer is now locked up. He's accused of sexually assaulting a child. 50-year-old Raymond Whitmire is charged with 1 count of first-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor. SLED just putting this out today. Whitmire sexually assaulted an 8-year-old child back in February, according to agents. We're told the Pickens County Sheriff's Office called SLED in to investigate. Well, the Oconee County coroner says he has now identified human remains found in Seneca last month thanks to the help of SLED. We've been following this case since the remains were found along Asbury Drive. The coroner says they got a hit in CODIS, which is a national database, that they belong to a 55-year-old woman. They say she was likely homeless and lived in the area there. But we have been told now the coroner will not release the name of this woman until tomorrow at the daughter's request. She is trying to notify next of kin. As for a cause of death, that has not been released either. Well, now to Haywood County in western North Carolina, the sheriff's office calling the circumstances surrounding a baby's death suspicious. They were called to Lookout Lane yesterday, where a 10-month-old was in cardiac arrest. The baby was rushed to the hospital and died last night. Deputies say the child had several visible injuries, and again, they have now called this death suspicious. We're waiting for the medical examiner's release for a cause of death, and of course, detectives are on this case this afternoon. Well, new information at 4, the University of South Carolina's Board of Trustees has approved a new president, despite protests from students and staff. The school announced today Robert Caslin is the next president. The Board of Trustees voted 11-8 to hire him, and he'll be making around $600,000. Several dozen protesters sat outside the meeting this afternoon and yelled shame after it was all over. Caslin has been a finalist for the job since April, but professors and students questioned whether he was qualified. Two of the school's biggest donors also said the choice was political. Now, he is the former president of West Point. He will be USC's 29th president. Well, right now we do want to check in with meteorologist Ben Dorenbach, another hot one out there, but at least we're not seeing too many storms like we did yesterday. But Ben, do we have any popping up right now?
Just a couple on radar, but the big story right now in this weekend is going to be the excruciating heat. We take a look at some of our temperatures for the time being. Lower to middle 90s is what you get in the upstate, mainly south of 85 is where you find some of our hottest temperatures. And wow, Elberton, Georgia, 97 degrees. Dew point temperatures around 70 degrees. So you combine those two things, it actually feels like 100 degrees in a handful of places, including Toccoa, Anderson, Lawrence, and Newberry. 98 the feel like, though, in downtown Greenville, all thanks to a really big area of high pressure. We have ridging that's allowing all this heat and humidity to seep in from the Gulf of Mexico. That's also prompting a few of those pop-up thunderstorms, which we'll get to in just a second. But first, we have some heat alerts. We've got heat advisories and excessive heat warnings in effect for basically central and eastern portions of South and North Carolina. So just missing the upstate by one row of counties. But look how extensive this heat is. It spans all the way west to parts of Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, even Minnesota and Wisconsin, all up the eastern seaboard as well. So a very extensive heat wave going on across the country. That scorching heat continues into this weekend, but we're going to get some widespread rain next Tuesday, and that is going to help provide some relief. We'll get to that a little more in detail coming up in just a few minutes. But first, let's turn it over to Chris Scott with a first check on traffic.
Hey, Ben, it's been a quiet day today traffic-wise. Not a whole lot out there, and still not a whole lot out there. We still have our usual slowdown spots and a few accidents out. And starting first in Spartanburg County with a 292 Inman Road right around the Canada Road area. Also in Anderson County, it's South Carolina 29 or Shetter Road right at US 29. And in Greenville County, 385 South, exit 35 at Woodruff Road. We've been all over that today. The DOT camera's frozen now, but we'll update you on that again in a few minutes. But as of right now, that accident is not causing any delay. Cody?
Chris, thanks. Continuing to cover our counties at 4, we have new information on a stabbing we first brought you as breaking news last night at 10. Woodruff police were called to this home on Gateview Circle around 9:30. We're told they found a man who had been stabbed. He was rushed to the hospital. Police arrested another man on scene. We're told the suspect is the victim's nephew, and the two had gotten into a fight, which obviously escalated. Police are not releasing the suspect's name right now, but he is locked up. The victim, we're told, is in critical condition. Well, over in Polk County, there is a warning this afternoon about a cop impersonator. Last night around 11:20, someone reported a man in an SUV using blue lights to pull them over on Highway 176 in Saluda. That same vehicle had been spotted on Highway 74 earlier in the night. Sheriff's office says the man had a mustache and was driving a small light-colored SUV with tinted windows. They are warning everyone, especially teens, to take extra precaution if someone pulls you over. If you know anything about this, you should call the Polk County Sheriff's Office. You can always call 911 and ask if it's an actual real officer behind you if you are being pulled over. Well, autopsies are being done today on 2 construction workers who died during a building collapse in Pickens County. The coroner says Domingo Diego Nicholas and Sabino Jerez Lopez were both killed on Thursday. This was breaking news here at 4 and 5. We're told they were putting up a wall there at this home under construction when a gust of wind came through, knocking it over on them. It happened right off Water Lake Drive in the Cliffs community. You can see it there right on the lake. We're told 2 other workers were there as well. They have been rushed to the hospital. We do not know their condition, but we can now confirm OSHA is also investigating how this happened. Well, happening now, Union Police need your help finding this missing teenager. She's 15 years old. Her name is Lita Lanier. Her dad says he noticed she was gone early Wednesday morning. A neighbor reported seeing her walking down Henrietta Street around 4 in the morning that day. There's also a burgundy Mustang driving through the area. Her family says they found her bag with clothes and medicine outside of their house. So they are worried she could be in extreme danger. She's only 5'6", 125 pounds. She has long, light brown hair. If you know where Alita is this afternoon, call Union Police. Well, a man will spend life in prison for killing an upstate woman, and now we're hearing from the victim's family. On Thursday, a jury in the Low Country took about 4.5 hours to convict Gerald Howard of murder. He was sentenced to life in prison for killing Nicole Goodlett. The mom of 3 disappeared from her Spartanburg County home back in March of 2014. They at the time believed she was the victim of foul play. Then almost a year later, Goodlett's body was found in Berkeley County. It had been partially burned. Gerald Howard was originally arrested for obstruction of justice, but was later charged with murder. Following Howard's conviction, the brother of Nicole Goodlett spoke outside the courthouse.
The family feels relieved. We are happy with what the jury decided. We are happy with the sentence. We are unhappy that things had to unfold the way they unfolded. Nicole was a loving mother. She was my sister, a lovely person who had many friends, and her children who have to now, go on with this situation is very unfortunate.
Nicole Goodlett left behind a son and twin girls who are now being raised by her family. Well, SLED and the FBI are investigating after spyware was found on Oconee County's computer services. The malware was found Thursday and caused the county's Pine Street offices to be shut down for the day. Investigators say they took the computer servers offline. They also tell us this issue did not pose a threat to the general public. They're still trying to figure out where the malware originated from. Well, it is the dead of summer, but Santa and Mrs. Claus were hanging out today in Greenville. They must have been hot. Today, you will find out why they were near downtown, and we'll tell you what they've been up to lately. That's coming up here at 4. And after storms devastated an upstate family's home, they're getting some help from the community. Jennifer Phillips will tell us more after the break. And protests continue in Puerto Rico. The governor under major pressure to step down. We'll have the very latest in the next half hour.
No, as long as you can't see it, though. I don't know. You're not showing this church, are you? No. It's kind of close to the road. Can you hear me? Natalie Howland says she and her family are grateful.
Well, welcome back to the 4 o'clock news. A severe thunderstorm swept through the Abbeville area back in June, and just 2 months before the storm, so did a tornado. Both storms caused major damage, and one family lost everything. Fox Carolina's Jennifer Phillips live in Abbeville this afternoon with how the community is pulling together to help this family rebuild. Hey, Jen.
Hey, Cody. So we talked to Natalie Howland, and she says she and her family are so grateful just to be alive. But when that storm hit back in June, they lost everything. And so now those who live in this community are pulling together to try and help them get back into their house. Take a look. This is what the house looks like still right now. And so again, the community coming together to help them. You can see a massive tree split the home in half, and Natalie Howland, her mother and father, happened to be inside the home when the tree crashed it and destroyed it. But with no insurance, and because the governor didn't declare the area a natural disaster, she and her family don't qualify for FEMA assistance. She says she also tried other agencies that have already allocated resources for others. So now church members, as well as current and former co-workers, are starting community fundraisers. Donations will be given to the family to not only help them with clothes, but to also help them get back into their home.
My great-grandparents lived here. My dad was born here. I was raised here, my brother, so it was home, and to see it gone, it was just like in a split second, it was devastating. It's just been great to feel, the love and support of the people around you.
Right now, there is a Howland Family GoFundMe page, and organizers with the fundraiser will also sell these t-shirts with the hashtag NatsCrew. There will be a designated day where hot meals will be sold, and a raffle will also take place. So we're also told those raffle tickets are already selling. That actual fundraiser is supposed to take place sometime the first weekend in September. Cody?
Yeah, Jen, very lucky those folks. No one was really hurt because those storms were pretty powerful when they came through there. There was a lot of damage across that county.
Yeah, a lot of damage, and as you saw there, the house is just destroyed. And so they're also asking for donations and help from people who know how to build homes, lumber contractors, or any kind of people who can volunteer and help with that kind of skill to try to help them actually rebuild that home, because as you heard her say, she says it's a family home and they really just want to get back into that home as soon as possible. Cody?
Jen, thanks so much. Been here with me at the desk, and again, it was a pretty rough time because about for 2 weeks we saw severe weather and those tornadoes just about every week.
Yeah, really a staple of summertime here, and luckily that's not our main story today. The other one that's pretty typical in the Carolinas in the summer is the heat. We have almost half the country with either a heat advisory or excessive heat warning. Notice this stretches all the way west to the plains and all the way northeast to Maine. So yeah, pretty extensive, which again includes the Carolinas. We are just outside of this heat advisory in effect for the I-77 corridor towards Charlotte, but it does not officially include any of our viewing area. The threshold for heat advisory in the Carolinas, 105 degrees for a feels like temperature, will be a little closer to 100. So still some excruciating heat in the upstate, just like what we're seeing right now. 92 degrees in downtown Greenville, a scorching 97 degrees in Elberton, Georgia. Meanwhile, things are still pretty hot for mountain standards, upper 80s to some lower 90s, which we had yesterday in Asheville, which that's what it feels like right now at the airport on the south side of town. 98 in downtown Greenville, but feels like temperatures are hottest south and west of the metro area. 105 in Lawrence, the feels like temperature. 100 in both Anderson and Toccoa. Looking at the satellite radar, we've got a couple of our pop-up thunderstorms, but those are staying pretty tame. We've got a few showers in Lawrence County westward to southern Greenville County and Anderson County, and a couple in the mountains too, but overall not seeing those as strong or severe as we've seen them be in the last couple of days. Those are going to be possible over the next 3-4 hours, but after 9 o'clock, safe to say our night should be dry. Saturday, pretty similar to today. We'll have pop-up showers, mostly in the mountains, not really discluding that the upstate will see some either, but overall the rain count's going to be pretty low tomorrow, as will be the case on Sunday. We'll bottom out at 73 degrees in the upstate tonight with those evening thunderstorms. Mountains at 69 for you, patchy fog in some of those mountain valleys and places that it rains. We'll top out once again 93 degrees in the upstate for your Saturday, 88 in the mountains with just spotty afternoon showers and thunderstorms in the mountains. And there's always that off chance one or two of those becomes on the strong side, but overall that is going to be pretty much a close to zero chance of that happening. 8 out of 10 for your Saturday rating. If we take a look at the trend of temperatures over the next few days, notice that by Tuesday we're going to get some cooler air moving into the area. So our ridge is finally going to break, and a trough of low pressure is going to help bring in some of that Canadian air from the north. Again, that's not going to come until Tuesday into Wednesday, and it's going to come at the expense of some widespread rain and thunderstorms on Tuesday. So we're going to be scorching this weekend, and then Monday into Tuesday, that's when we transition into that cooler pattern, again at the expense of some showers on Tuesday. Pretty widespread too, along with some isolated severe weather too probably. But after that, things dry up, and look at those highs in the lower middle 80s. That's spring-like for the upstate, and upper 70s in the mountains by Wednesday through the end of next week. A reminder for the latest forecast, you can go to foxcarolina.com by clicking on the weather tab. And now for another update on traffic, let's switch it back over to Chris Scott.
All right, Ben, thanks. Yeah, we're following about 3 accidents out there right now. One of those around the Anderson County area at US 29 and Cheddar Road, if you're anywhere near that spot. Also at Oak Ridge Court at Stone Ridge Road. That is up toward Batesville. It was here, now it's gone, so hopefully they've got it moved out of the roadway. And still looking in Spartanburg County, pardon me, at 292 Inman Road around Canada Road and 85 Business South, exit 4 at Buffington Road. So those are the only incidents we have out right now. Looking at real heavy traffic north and south from Pelham Road to 385. Cody?
Chris, thanks so much. Well, health experts want people to brush up on signs of heat illness, and Delta's Airlines emergency medical kits will now include an overdose reversal drug. Jane King is at the NASDAQ with those stories and more in today's Wellness Report.
Delta is adding an overdose reversal drug on its flights. It will begin carrying naloxone, a medication that can reverse a narcotic overdose. A man died on a recent Delta flight from an apparent overdose. Opiate addiction continues to be a major problem in the U.S., although it has seen some improvement lately. Health experts are reminding people of the signs of heat stroke, and the country, of course, gripped in intense heat this weekend, much of the country. Some signs of heat problems are headaches, nausea, dizziness, fainting. So if you see someone you think is suffering from a heat-related illness, call 911 immediately and start to cool their core body temperature by any means necessary, by getting them in shade and so forth. More than 1 in 10 patients are harmed in the course of their medical care, and half of those injuries are preventable. Among the preventable errors, 12% led to a patient's permanent disability or death. And that's going to a report published in the BMJ, a medical journal. Now, the new findings come 2 decades after a similar report from the Institute of Medicine concluded that medical errors resulted in the deaths of as many as 98,000 Americans every year. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King. Here's to your health.
And time for a Friday Cute Alert. You know we love animals, or basically the animal planet around here. It's a brand new baby elephant on display in Australia. The calf was born 1 week ago and was actually conceived by artificial insemination. What you learn here on Fridays, folks. This is the second calf to be born at the zoo by that method, so they're breaking boundaries there. The baby weighed 200 pounds at birth. Could you imagine? 200 pounds at birth. Name has not been picked yet, but we will definitely let you know when that little baby is named. That is cute. Well, coming up, the Carolina Panthers heading back to the upstate training camp. Less than a week away, we'll show you how Wofford is getting ready for the Panthers. Plus, you can beat the heat this summer and check out some cool new laser shows at Roper Mountain. Joe Gagnon had the rough job of going to check those out today. We'll check in with him for a preview. You're watching the 4 o'clock news. We're back in just a moment. there. You get a room, it's like
The
$150.
weather
and
camp?
You get a bracelet to go to the pool party, and they have DJs. Like, it's crazy.
That's a Lake Hartwell. Yeah, just a different view. Welcome back to Weather and Traffic Together every 10 minutes. Let's take a look at radar. We've got those pop-up thunderstorms fueled by that heat and humidity. Let's take a closer look at the upstate first. Most of the activity is pretty light and mostly south of 85. Of course, those are slowly drifting westwards, so between about Lawrence and Anderson, that little route is going to contain a few showers, maybe even a few rumbles of thunder. But as you can see, these have been pretty short-lived and overall pretty weak in comparison to some of our mountain neighbors to our north. We've got a few lightning strikes right on the Georgia-North Carolina border, just north of Mountain City and Rabun County. We've also got a few thunderstorms in Yancey and Mitchell counties that are moving slightly southwest toward Asheville, so might have to deal with a little bit of rain here in the city of Asheville for a short while, but overall that outlook is looking pretty limited this evening, and that'll remain the same this weekend. Nothing outside of pop-up thunderstorms. The main story, though, is the heat. We'll talk about it coming up in just a few minutes, but first let's send it back over to Chris Scott with the traffic update.
All right, thanks, Ben. Getting reports of an overturned vehicle, I-26 eastbound at the Columbus exit toward North Carolina, right out of the Spartanburg County into Columbus and into the North Carolina area. Again, I-26 eastbound at the Columbus exit, an overturned vehicle there. Maybe a while to get traffic moving again. Also at Shetter Road and US 29, and we are also following several other accidents in Spartanburg. 292 Inman Road around Canada Road, 85 Business South at the 4 exit at Buffington Road, and I'm also getting reports of another accident. We'll see what it is. Highway 9 at Iron Ore Road. So watch out for all of these. We'll update you on them again in just a few minutes. Cody?
Chris, thanks. Well, Roper Mountain Science Center is offering up some cool entertainment for adults this summer. You see it behind me. They're bringing back their laser shows featuring music from the Beatles, Queen, and more. Joe Gagnon giving us a preview.
Hey guys, this summer, this is the place to be, the Hooper Planetarium on the grounds of the Roper Mountain Science Center, because the Laser Days of Summer is back and better than ever. It features music of Queen, the Beatles, Pink Floyd, hits from the 80s, hits from the 90s, and some of the best movies and TV shows you can ever imagine. We talked to the great Thomas Riddle, who has brought this amazing Laser Days of Summer back to Roper Mountain, and he says this is so exciting for people to come and check out in person.
We're excited about having an opportunity to bring people into the planetarium to experience lasers like this. A lot of times people are just familiar with the planetarium shows that we offer, but this is taking it to a whole different level.
So make sure you go to ropermountain.org to get your tickets. They're just $8 for adults and kids, but if you're a member of the Roper Mountain Science Center, it's just $4. Back to you.
And just a note, Roper Mountain says these laser shows are not recommended for kids under 8 years old. Well, she's 101 years old and not ready to slow down yet. An upstate woman celebrated her birthday by throwing out the first pitch for the Greenville Drive. Plus, the Panthers are getting ready to come to Wofford. And of course, fans getting pumped about it. They're preparing for the NFL team. And again, training camp just around the corner. And there's political chaos in Puerto Rico. Thousands are taking to the streets to demand the governor step down. We'll explain why they want him to go coming up.
Closed captioning sponsored by Bojangles. It's Bo time. You're watching the 4 o'clock news on Fox Carolina.
Welcome back. Look at this, a live look over Lake Hartwell. A beautiful, beautiful Friday afternoon. Some pontoons out on the water right now. You cannot beat that image there. And that's the place you want to be today because it is hot out there. Ben Dornbach in for Kendra this afternoon. So, Ben, are these hot temperatures going to stick around all weekend?
Yes, for the weekend, but there's good news next week. Yes, we've got some relief on the way, and it's going to come at the expense, though, of some widespread thunderstorms. But hey, I think we'll take that trade. Temperature is in the lower and middle 90s in the upstate, northeast Georgia. Elberton, you've been the hot spot all afternoon at 97. You're now at 96. 92 currently in downtown Greenville. Our neighbors to our east, Spartanburg at 91, which is also the temperature in Rutherfordton, North Carolina. So the foothills even feeling the heat, and the most intense heat humidity is going to be to our east along the I-77 corridor. So the farther east you live, the hotter you're probably going to be. And to add to the heat, there's the humidity. Our dew points around 70 degrees right now. So you combine that with 90 to 95 degree temperatures, you get feels like temperatures or heat indices like this. 101 degrees is currently the feels like temperature in Anderson, South Carolina. Knocking on the door of 100 is you in Greenwood and Newberry. 98 still deadlocked here at the downtown Greenville airport. We've also got a couple of pop-up showers and thunderstorms, but nothing severe at this point. We'll talk more and track those a little bit more in detail later on. In the meantime, though, let's switch it back over to the traffic center with Chris Scott.
Hey, Ben, yeah, Spartanburg County, the area we're going to stay in right now. Of course, I do remind you that an overturned vehicle on I-26 east up around the Columbus exit in North Carolina, right at the line. And in Spartanburg County, Highway 292 Canada Road, Highway 9 and Iron Ore Road, and 85 Business South, exit 4 right around the Buffington Road area. We're right in that spot now. This is the southbound lane of 85 Business. The accident did slow traffic just ahead a little bit, but looks like it's moving at a pretty good pace right there now. Cody?
Chris, thanks so much. Well, tear gas filled the streets of Puerto Rico as police try to break up protest. People demand the governor there resign after his crude messages were leaked. And as the governor vows to stay in power, protesters plan to demonstrate again tonight. Mary Maloney explains.
Protesters beat drums, wave the Puerto Rican flag, and chant, "Ricky, resign." For nearly a week, thousands of people have taken to the streets with the same message: the governor must go.
We'll be out here till he resigns.
Puerto Rico Center for Investigative Journalism published nearly 900 pages of a leaked private group chat between the governor and his inner circle. It includes violent and misogynistic messages about San Juan's mayor and homophobic references to pop star Ricky Martin. The singer joined in the protests, which have spread to the mainland, inspiring others.
I'm so numb from politics in America, but the people of Puerto Rico aren't numb, and they're waking us all up.
At times, police clashed with protesters and fired tear gas into the crowd.
We've seen comments that he and others in the administration have made. We've seen them using force against the people of Puerto Rico. This governor can no longer be effective, and I believe that he should resign.
The situation has also drawn the attention of President Trump, who tweeted, "I know the people of Puerto Rico well, and they are great, but much of their leadership is corrupt and robbing the U.S. government blind." As police stand guard outside the governor's mansion, the public affairs secretary says the governor will stay in power, despite the protests.
I think that the governor really needs to resign, and he needs to understand that everyone wants it.
I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
And you can always stay connected with Fox Carolina for updates on breaking news and any weather watches or warnings by downloading our free Fox Carolina News app. You can also watch our newscast live inside the app as well. Well, happening now, downtown Spartanburg is getting ready for a Panthers invasion. The Carolina Panthers training camp starts next Thursday. The team will move into the dorms at Wofford College for 2 weeks, and you can start seeing crews out there today getting the signs up, prepping the fields. The practices at Gibbs Stadium are open to the public, and they always draw a lot of fans who want to see their favorite players.
Last summer we had about 68,000. We've had a great influx over the last several years, and a lot of it's due to the connection that the fans have with those players.
The training camp kickoff party is next Thursday at 4 p.m. The Panthers have been training at Wofford since 1995, but this is the last year they will be there. Spartanburg's Visitors Bureau says they're confident, though, the team will be back at some point. We will see, though, because they're building that new place in Rock Hill, so we will see if that contract is renewed. Well, the Greenville woman celebrated her 101st birthday by enjoying her favorite sport, that is Mimi Meters. She got to throw out the first pitch last night at the Greenville Drive game. She was cheered on by fans, of course, her family, and those players. Our own Brooklyn Cromer got to talk with Mimi last night, who says it was an unforgettable birthday.
Mimi Metters is no stranger to the baseball field.
My dad played and my husband played, and well, it's been in our family. And then in high school, I played on the girls' baseball team.
And she's still going strong today.
She's 101 and still very agile, and her mind, I tell them, is better than mine.
I've always been active. I grew up with 4 brothers. So whatever they did, I had to do. Climb trees and play ball and stuff like that.
And the baseball diamond is still close to her heart, so her daughter decided to give her a birthday surprise she'll always remember.
A friend of mine told me I should call and tell them it was her 101st birthday, so I did, and they were real excited and wanted to know if she would come.
Mimi is celebrating her 101st birthday by throwing the first pitch at the Drive game.
Well, it was really exciting. Yeah, I loved it.
Her secret to living a long, healthy life, having fun and staying active.
Things don't operate like they used to, but most of the time I feel good. I enjoy life just like I always have.
Proving age is nothing but a number.
Come over and play ball with me.
Brooklyn Cromer, Fox Carolina News.
Well, not only was it a great night for Mimi, it was also a pretty good one for the Drive. They beat the Columbia Fireflies 5-1. They'll be back on the field tonight at 7:05. Well, rumors have been flying about tensions between Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton, but a royal source tells People magazine they're far from royal rivals. In this week's cover story, inside sources reveal the bond between them is growing, especially as they navigate through motherhood together in the spotlight. The new issue of People is on newsstands right now, of course, and fans getting excited about the new Top Gun movie. Find out more in today's People Update.
Hey guys, I'm Andrea Belke.
And I'm Akon Jovu with your People Update.
Kicking things off with some fans who got the surprise of a lifetime.
I definitely feel that love of feeling up here from you all. What a great movie audience you all are. 34 years ago, I made a movie in San Diego, right here. I actually shot across the street at a restaurant.
Tom Cruise surprised fans at Comic-Con in San Diego on Thursday, where he helped debut the first trailer for Top Gun Maverick.
Now, San Diego is significant because it's the city where the first Top Gun movie was shot. We'll be breaking down all the highlights from the trailer today on People Now, streaming on Twitter.
Very exciting. All right, moving on to this. Serena Williams is raising the bar on and off the tennis court. She's gracing this year's cover of Sports Illustrated's Fashionable 50 issue, and at the magazine's gala to celebrate the issue on Thursday, she rocked the red carpet in a creamy tank top paired with a fitted pencil skirt.
So stunning. She accessorized flawlessly, as always, with a bunch of layered gold necklaces, a blingy watch, and soft blonde curls.
All right, you've probably heard about that viral Facebook event calling people to raid the highly classified Area 51, and now Bud Light is getting in on the fun. The beer company first tweeted about the event on Monday, saying, "We'd like to be the first brand to formally announce that we will not be sponsoring the Area 51 raid."
That's right. Then on Wednesday, they decided to go in a slightly different direction, tweeting, "Screw it, free Bud Light to any alien that makes it out." Now, the brand even designed a special can for the aliens, which includes the phrases, "Take us to your leader" for drinks, and "We come in peace" written on the can. That is so funny.
For more entertainment news, check out People Now, streaming on Twitter.
You can see more People Now this Sunday at 6:30 here on Fox Carolina. People is produced by the Meredith Corporation, which owns Fox Carolina. Well, this weekend marks 50 years since the first Americans walked on the moon. We'll take a look back at the historic moment and show you how the nation is honoring the anniversary. Plus, if you are planning any trips this summer, we've got some tips to get the best deals on your hotel. And it's Christmas in July for Greenville Police and firefighters. We'll show you how they're working to help local children. And your midday winning lottery numbers, your pick 3, 4, 2, 7, and your pick 4, 1, 2, 5, 8. Well, the Greenville Fire Department and Police Department are helping Santa bring joy to children at Shriners Hospital for Children. Fox Carolina's Margaret Carter spoke to Miss Claus about Christmas in July.
The July heat didn't stop people from getting in the Christmas spirit and coming out and donating all of these toys for children at the Shriners Hospital for Children.
Merry Christmas in July!
Santa Claus is coming to town 6 months before Christmas Day, and it's all for the good boys and girls at the Shriners Hospital for Children.
You can just see it on their face. To think that Santa and Mrs. Claus are there in July, and the questions that come up, it's like, why are you here in July? And then we just tell, we just explain to them that, Santa's got, some extra time, and the elves needed something to do, so we got them to build extra toys, and so we figured that Shriners needed them.
Mrs. Claus says the goal is to make sure every child has at least one toy in the summer months, and the Greenville Fire Department and Police Department help make it all come to life.
Because of them having a loss of toys during the summertime, we felt it necessary to keep it going for the children throughout the whole year, so that there was no child that left the Shriners without having a toy.
Mrs. Claus says it's a good distraction for the kids going through treatment and need something to look forward to.
The kids really look forward to it, and I really think that since we've been doing this for the last several years, that the kids kind of look forward to it now. So if we ever stopped it, I think that the kids would be very disappointed. It'd be like waking up on Christmas morning and having nothing under your tree.
So while there may not be any snow, there will always be gifts for the children. Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus will be handing out all of the toys to the children themselves this coming Monday. Reporting in Greenville, Margaret Carter, Fox Carolina News.